Hey, just 1 month after Metro Police leadership were given an orientation on those self-driving Waymo vehicles, a former test driver of those cars is coming forward to WSMV4 Investigates, telling me the vehicles he was in were so dangerous, he doesn't even think they should be tested on the streets of Nashville. What's going through your mind when you're in this car?
I was scared to death.
He is among the first to ride in Waymo vehicles like these in Nashville, offering payroll proof that he worked late last year for the company that employs people to test the autonomous vehicles. Why did you reach out to us?
The people of Nashville needs to know that these vehicles are dangerous before somebody gets hurt or killed by one of them.
After being trained by Waymo in Phoenix, he says he rode in the vehicles for 4 months in Nashville. His job, document how the self-driving vehicles maneuvered the city and forcibly take control of the car if necessary. He details frightening moments, including a near collision.
There was a white Toyota Corolla coming towards us, and for some reason or other, the Waymo just turned to the left and started going straight towards the Toyota Corolla in her lane, going the wrong way in her lane. And if she had not been paying attention, we would have hit her head on. I slammed on the brakes to stop the car.
Describing sudden accelerations.
It got up to 37 miles an hour in an apartment complex parking lot and almost hit a dumpster and it stopped.
He says the problems persisted daily and got worse in the afternoons.
As the day progressed, the batteries would get weaker. The car would start doing more sporadic, dangerous stunts.
Did you ever say anything to the supervisors that this isn't safe?
Yeah, several times. But, you know, they're like, well, nobody's gotten killed by them yet.
We shared all of the test driver's claims with Waymo, and for 3 days, we asked for an interview. Just hours ago, we received this statement that did not address any of the test driver's concerns. But the company wrote in part, we rigorously train specialists to safely operate the vehicles, take control as soon as they deem it necessary, and raise any feedback or safety concerns through multiple channels. We take reports we receive very seriously. As for this test driver, he finally quit when he says the vehicle abruptly stopped in moving traffic. What was the final straw?
The car was trying to go across the main road. As it stopped, I looked to my left, and there was a old Dominion tractor trailer coming straight at my driver's side door, and he stopped just barely in time. Oh, I've never seen nothing like it. To me, they're super dangerous.
All right, for some context here, there have been high-profile scares with Waymo vehicles in other cities. In Tempe, Arizona, 2 East Valley women caught a self-driving Waymo headed towards them going the wrong way down the street. In January, in Santa Monica, California, Waymo informed NHTSA that one of its driverless vehicles struck a child near an elementary school. But take a look at Waymo's website. They say they're making the roads safer with these vehicles, that the cars are better than humans at avoiding crashes. Now, we got a link to that data right now in the story on the app.